can I just say, it is super spooky walking down to Bynea. I'm heading down for the committee meeting tonight, and it's not very well lit. I mean, we've got these silly LED lights, whatever they are, in the lampposts. They're not very strong at all, so this is probably not going to be the best, but who cares? Alright, so where do we start? This video, I guess, is all about my plans for 2020. What are we going to do? What are we going to be up to? Where am I going? Blah blah blah. Well, first things first, the biggest goal of 2020 for moi is going to be the Taiwan KOM challenge. I've been thinking of lots of ways in which I can make next year interesting, and I thought, well, being that I'm British hill climb champion and I've had the amazing opportunity to ride some like incredible races over the last few years, like the last 7-8 years, maybe 2020 is the year for me to have a chance at something different, to have a shot at something that maybe suits me a little bit better than racing in the UK. Now, I get it. Like, a lot of you have said for a long time that I should be racing on the continent, I should be racing in France, I should be racing, you know, in Spain and Italy. Well, I'd love to. I'd absolutely love to, but it's difficult when I'm 26 next year, by the way, like, shock horror. Maybe it's a chance for me to try something different. So this is where Taiwan came out, and I spoke to numerous ex-managers of mine, you know, ex-experienced riders that I know, experienced riders I know now who are still racing. You know, I spoke to a lot of people about this decision and about this opportunity that I've had given to me. And the way I've explained it is I've never ever been in the position, the fortunate position that I'm in now, where I'm 25, 26, I'm just coming into prime. I'm still kind of finding my feet in terms of, you know, which races suit me best, although a lot of people would say, you know, Ed, you know, the big climbs, they suit you really well, you're a hill climber. Yes, and I also love stage races, I love endurance, I love long rides, pushing myself, but I don't do a lot of them. So, like I said, I spoke to a lot of people, and I said, look, I've got two options. And this all came after the British Hill Climb Championships. I said, I've had a number of sponsors, kit, bike, wheels, travel, bags, like luggage. Like, I've had numerous sponsors come up to me and say, we're game to do this. And I reached out to them because I already had in my mind before the British Hill Climb Championships. I thought to myself, wouldn't it be so cool if I went to the Taiwan KOM Challenge in 2020 as British Hill Climb champion with the British Hill Climb skin suit, but not one that kind of screams, you know, British champion, one that just has, like, you know, little bands on the arm or something, you know, something like that doesn't kind of pee off anybody, I guess. And I'm not really into kind of shouting all about it, that's not me. So I just wanted something subtle. So, you know, we won the British Champs. Brilliant. Here's the next steps. I was like, we can do this, like, it's going to be great. You know, we've got a great story as well to share, like, this is really going places. And to hark back to that a little bit, the story, like the content on my YouTube channel is taking a little bit of a turn, like a natural turn. It's becoming very kind of, well, it has become very story based. It's becoming very like, so here's the goal, you focus on it, you put all your energy into it, bang, you achieve it. Like, that's the kind of vibes coming across with it. Whereas in the previous years before, we never really had something to latch onto. Now, you know, I find it really cool that there's plenty of guys and girls on YouTube, cyclists, that show different, you know, areas of what they do, and you know, they're all kind of achieving different goals, different things, you know. And I'm not just saying we're going to go to this event to give it a big exposure. Like, I'm saying I'm going to go to this event, I'm going to win the event. And I realised that it's kind of reached and touched more people just by the sheer number of comments that I had on that British Hill Climb Championship video, because what people realised was that I literally documented almost everything up to that point, said that I was going to do it, and then flipping did it. This is what I've sold. Like, next year we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it on a bigger scale. We're going to do it in Taiwan, we're going to do it on a huge hill from 0 to 3,500 metres above sea level, and we're going to cane it. Now, I'm making it sound easy, possibly, but it won't be. So there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. So by talking to all these people, like I mentioned, we had two choices. I could either race in the UK and try and get whatever team I race for, because here's the thing, okay? Maybe you know cycling, professional cycling in and out, maybe you don't. But let me just clear a few things up. Some people have sent me a message saying, I hope you're still with SwiftCarbon for next year. And I'm like, hang on a minute. It's not just whether they want you, it's whether you want them. So for me, can they offer me what I need to do what I want to do next year? If the answer is no, then you need to try and find something else, or you need to try and, you know, amend the contract, or, you know, try to make it work. By the way, Christmas tree. The other thing is as well, there's not many teams that are even willing to pay you in the UK. So the kind of incentive to stay there, unless your incentive is you want to race in Europe, or you want to race the Tour Yorkshire or Tour Britain, there's very little incentive. Like, for me next year, that's what I'm saying, for me next year, for 2021 it could be completely different. Like, I could want all of that again, which is absolutely fine. The fact of the matter is, though, that I've been given a very privileged opportunity right here, right now, as a 25-year-old, to go and pursue something that not a lot of riders are allowed to do until they've retired. I've been given the opportunity to do this, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful to each and every one of you, and to each and every one of the sponsors, and the possibly sponsors in the future, that have allowed me to do this. Now, in terms of incentive, what's the incentive? Well, the incentive is I get to race kind of as my own person, at least, or I get to at least manage my own kind of trajectory towards that goal in October next year. If I ride for, say, an elite team on the road in the UK next year, I will have flexibility. Now, flexibility is key, and I cannot emphasize that word enough. Key. It was literally thrown at me loads of times when I spoke to these people about it, and they said flexibility is a no-brainer. If you can be flexible and do what you want to do, no-brainer. Plus, if the incentive is there. So next year the incentive is there. Yes, I'm not getting paid, but that doesn't matter, because we're allowed to go for what we truly believe in. And in 2020 it's going to be Taiwan. There's going to be lots of things, obviously, that I have to think about. It's abroad, so I've got to think about travel, I've got to think about sleep, I've got to think about recovery, I've got to think about training for those things and trying to perform under those stresses, which is why we're going to be doing possibly some ultra endurance stuff next year, maybe. On the odd occasion, one or two, maybe. But they're going to be super exciting, because they actually do hold a very small piece to the puzzle, whereby I'm actually performing in a tired state, as in jet lagged or something similar. So there's lots of ideas floating around, and, you know, I will be doing is following this vision and this dream of actually achieving something that I want to achieve. And hopefully it enlightens that story, and it brings that story into a new realm. And, you know, you guys know, if I set my heart on something, I really want to do it. And, you know, there's going to be a chance for you guys to support it as well if you want to. There's going to be like a little Patreon page, which I've kind of been egged to set up. You know, you've got to do this. Every tiny little bit helps. And it's just that, you know, the dream of winning the British Hill Climb Championship seemed like such a far off goal, and when we achieved it, it was almost like that's too good to be true. Like, quite literally, like, we've literally seen the build-ups too good to be true. Next year we can do the same. We can 100% do the same. Some of the biggest riders in the world have raced that event. You know, Vincenzo Nibali, Phil Guyman, Ed Bradbury, who was a teammate of mine at GLT. So there's been lots of really good riders. Marianne Vos, Emma Pooley, all these riders have raced, and it's like, yes, like, surely this is something we can do and set out to achieve. So I have to admit, guys, like, it's not been an easy decision at all. You know, the support we had at Swift, I really enjoyed my time on the team. The riders are on the team, like, you guys know who you are. Like, I don't have to say it on live TV here, but you're like, it was possibly one of the best team atmospheres with the riders I'd ever been with, and you know, it was with a heavy heart, to say the least, that I had to tear that away, and taking nothing away from what they've achieved and what we've done this year. You know, it was a hard decision to make, but it's one that, you know, I can hopefully stand by, and you guys can stand by with me, and we could just, you know, have fun and achieve a really great thing, you know, and be in it together, all for one for all. Bike wheels in the sea, because this preparation is going to be a lot different. I'm going to be doing time trials of different lengths next year in order to improve my ability of riding at a certain wattage and a certain effort level for a continuous amount of time, because this is the thing, like, this event at Taiwan is going to be 3.5 to 4 hours long, and it's probably going to be, you know, at a completely different level, very taxing on my body. And I think to some extent I can't train and prepare the same way for this as I have done for, you know, all the British hill climbs and, you know, the hill climb season that generally occurs at the same time that this will next year. I can't do the same thing. That would be insane. Particularly, I can't prepare using the road race season. It just won't. It won't give me that, because with the hill climb season, it's a lot easier to prepare for, because you just, obviously, for me, I'm just doing conditioning work. I'm just bringing myself down to a level where I'm capable of just riding, you know, 10-minute effort at 435 watts, and that's it. Whereas this effort, I almost have to carry on actually doing kind of road racing efforts, road racing training, time trialing training, all that kind of stuff, to get me in a similar position and maintain that form until the end of October, and that could stretch me too much. So there's lots of things that play into this decision and play into this plan, and there's going to be, you know, certain workouts I'm going to be doing that are going to be staples in my training for the next few months and for the next year. You know, form finders, low cadence sessions that will simulate that, you know, really steep part at the top of the climb. We'll get more into the climb obviously when it comes, but you know, there's lots of things I can think of. Doing a 100-mile time trial, for example, it's a 4.5 hour effort. Obviously it depends what bike you're doing on. If you're doing on a road bike, it's like 4.5 hours, but, you know, it's a similar kind of effort, you know, very steady state, and there's going to be lots of ideas, lots of new things, and I think it's something that I can learn from, and maybe there's going to be some mistakes there that you can learn from as well, so that you don't make the same. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be fun, however it goes. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, if you want to hear more about it, drop a message down below. Send me a message on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever the heck you hang out. Send me a message, and I'll get back to you. So yeah, I mean, 2020, we're coming for it.